in high definition. From the Breaking News and Weather Authority, this is News 10 at 11.
Good evening. Our lead at 11, presidential politics. Last week's Republican National Convention was all about formally introducing Mitt Romney to the voters. This week's Democratic Convention will be about reminding voters why they chose Barack Obama 4 years ago. Steve Handelsman is in North Carolina with a preview.
Arriving in Charlotte for the Democratic Convention, delegates from Florida hope this week boosts their efforts in the biggest battleground.
Florida's a tough state. It's going to be right down to the wire. What is always nice about the convention, it ramps everybody up.
Charlotte has become a kind of Obama fest.
Oh, we're very excited. Students in general are.
College Democrats in town grateful the president kept rates low on student loans.
He's helped me, I'll help him. We're in this together. We build things together.
President Obama is crisscrossing battleground states on his way to Charlotte. Today, Colorado, talking about his GM and Chrysler bailouts.
I bet on American workers, and I bet on American manufacturing. And today, the U.S. auto industry has come roaring back.
He defended Obamacare.
And I don't know exactly what the other side's proposing. I guess you could call it Romney doesn't care.
Vice President Biden was in Pennsylvania, mocking Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan at last week's Republican convention.
And these guys say the president's out of touch? Out of touch? Swiss bank account, untold millions in the Cayman Islands? Who's out of touch, man?
Mitt Romney stayed out of the fray in New Hampshire. In Charlotte, a few hundred activists protested the city's big banks and demanded tougher environmental laws as the president headed toward his convention. Tomorrow, Mr. Obama campaigns in Ohio, a critical battleground state, then goes to Louisiana, battered by Hurricane Isaac. I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mitt Romney spent part of his day in a New Hampshire congregation of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, where members of the church thanked him for bringing their faith into the public eye. Romney is the first member of the Mormon faith to become a major party nominee. Vice President Joe Biden isn't in Michigan yet, and tomorrow's Labor Day visit has already hit a snag. A U-Haul truck rented by the Secret Service was stolen from a parking lot of a Holiday Inn hotel in Detroit this morning. The Secret Service isn't saying what's in the truck. And the Vice President will be walking in Detroit's Labor Day parade. We'll have a crew there, and we'll have coverage on News 10 and WILX.com throughout the day. President Obama says he takes no offense at Clint Eastwood's Republican convention skit. The actor and director questioned and criticized an empty chair that served as a stand-in for the president. When asked about it today, Mr. Obama said anyone who's easily offended needs to pick a different line of work than politics. In a News 10 neighborhood crime watch, police are trying to track down the robber who held up this Little Caesars pizza shop in Lansing. There were calls to the 2900 block of North Grand River Avenue around 9 tonight. We don't know what the thief got away with or if anyone was hurt, but of course we'll pass that information along to you as soon as we get it. Police in Jackson are trying to figure out who was driving a car that crashed into Cascade Elementary School last night. Part of the school was damaged and has been boarded up. We don't know if it's still usable. The driver left the car and ran away. Police have talked with the car's owner but won't say if that's who was driving the car. And of course, we'll be checking on that story tomorrow. State police have released the names of the 2 people on board this plane when it crashed in Brighton Township yesterday. Ana Lorena Arguedas Ortega of Costa Rica died, and pilot Walter Davenport of Brighton was injured in the accident. It crashed in a marsh near the Brighton airport. Witnesses say it was struggling to clear some trees when it suddenly turned and then went down. Friends say Davenport had more than 30 years flying experience and think a mechanical problem is a more likely cause than pilot error. The FAA and National Transportation Safety Board are investigating, and we'll let you know what they find. Let's get a first check of the weather from meteorologist Laura Hartman. Laura, what can we all expect as we move into the holiday tomorrow?
Well, it's a big question on everyone's mind, Brian. I know a lot of people plan on trying to enjoy tomorrow outdoors. I think that you can get away with a good portion of spending outdoors tomorrow. Although if you can handle the heat, it's certainly going to be a good day for you. Let's first take a look at the satellite and radar. I want to show you not too many people are getting showers tonight, and you certainly won't be seeing too many as we head on into the overnight. It looks like those showers will be staying south of the Michigan border, and we could see a few more pop up again tomorrow. We're looking at the afternoon and evening for those showers. Of course, we'll talk more about those in that 7-day forecast. Here's a look at the dew points. I want to show you just where it's a little bit sticky outside. Anywhere in the southwestern portion of our counties, including Battle Creek, Marshall, Coldwater, and Hillsdale, are experiencing just a little bit of the sticky, humid feeling for tonight. The rest of us are doing just fine. Temperatures finally getting down into the 60s for Lansing and Owasso and Howell. The rest of us in the 70s. You can expect us to stay a little bit on the cool side for tonight into the 60s. And there's a look at your morning planner. We'll have more on our 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Laura. Governor Rick Snyder will keep a Labor Day tradition going tomorrow when he leads the 55th annual Mackinac Bridge Walk. It starts at 7 a.m. in St. Ignace. The governor will meet with some of the walkers at Audie's restaurant in Mackinac City after he's done. 2 local communities will have their own Labor Day bridge walks in Grand Ledge. It crosses the bridge from Oak Park to Fitzgerald Park starting at 9 a.m. And if that's too early for you, you can join Onondega's version, which starts at 7 p.m. at Clones Country Store on Onondaga Road. Today is the 67th anniversary of VJ Day, when Japan signed the surrender papers, officially ending World War II. Retired Marine Corps General Peter Pace spoke at a wreath-laying ceremony at the National World War II Memorial in Washington. Several veterans of the Pacific Campaign attended.
Never ever dreamed that I would ever be with the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and matter of fact, I think I served with his father.
And we appreciate their service. While the U.S. celebrates VJ Day on the date, which is the official surrender, Great Britain celebrates it on August 15th, the day Japan announced it would surrender. That came 6 days after the U.S. dropped a second atomic bomb on Japan. The Reverend Sung Myung Moon, founder of the Unification Church, died today at 92 years old. He had been admitted to a church-owned hospital 2 weeks ago to be treated for pneumonia. Moon started the church after serving in the Korean War. It was best known for mass weddings in the 60s and 70s, including one where 45,000 people around the world were married simultaneously. The church eventually turned into a multi-billion-dollar empire that owned the conservative Washington Times newspaper and the New Yorker Hotel. It was also accused of brainwashing followers. Moon served more than a year in federal prison for tax evasion. A man who is planning to bike more than 8,500 miles around the country began his trip today from Trinity Church in Lansing. 47-year-old Jerry Smith has been planning this trip to America's 25 fattest cities for months. He's lost 130 pounds since his weight peaked at 400 pounds a few years ago, and he hopes the ride can draw more attention to America's obesity epidemic. Smith started to head to Detroit today and expects to finish on Christmas Eve in Los Angeles. He told us he's ready to face the challenge.
Weather, rain is going to be a big one. Mountains, I hear there's some pretty big mountains out there, so I may be walking up a couple mountains. And then just come up with the financing to get us the whole way.
It'll be a long trek. Smith told us he doesn't have all the money he needs to finish the trip, so he's riding on faith. You can donate on his Facebook page, Catch On Tour 2012. Lansing's Old Town held its first Sunday gallery walk today. Guests were given a postcard they could have stamped at any of 7 art galleries in the community. The postcards can be entered into a prize drawing. The idea is to get people to check out some of the businesses they may not be familiar with. Walks will be held the first Sunday of each month. We are just hours away from Labor Day. After the break, meteorologist Laura Hartman will tell us what we can expect in her hour-by-hour forecast. That's next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast from the Weather Authority.
And the question on everyone's mind, what will the weather be like for tomorrow's holiday?
Everyone's wondering because hopefully hopefully everyone is enjoying the outdoors, the last chance for summer. Let's take a look at the radar. You can see the live radar outside right now. And as for the showers, they're hanging off to the south for tonight. So don't expect to get wet, especially if you have been seeing some showers over the past few days. I don't think that they'll be bothering you for tonight, although it is true we all do need the rain. It looks like we'll have chances for tomorrow as well as for Tuesday and into Wednesday. Quite a few chances for the showers. We also have the heat here. I want to show you the temperatures, and you can see that they have been quite warm for today. Take a look. A lot of us were in those mid-80s, although Hillsdale didn't even make it into 80 degrees today. They had a lot more cloud cover. Same thing for Ann Arbor, sticking into the 70s for today. As for Charlotte, the hot spot, 87 degrees. A lot of us will be seeing those mid and upper 80s for tomorrow. Here's a look at our futurecast, though. This is a question on everyone's mind. What does Labor Day look like? Here is where we're starting. We're starting off dry. Look at those showers coming into the picture for the afternoon and into the evening. Look like most of the evening will be dry. I think most of the people seeing the showers will be off to the southeast for Labor Day. Tuesday, a little bit of a different story. It's just a little bit of isolated showers for most of us, so anybody could be seeing the showers on Tuesday. But Monday, I expect that the people off to the west and to the north won't be seeing quite as much, if any, rain. It looks like you'll be seeing more sunshine. Those of us to the southeast, a little bit more clouds and the possibility of more rainfall. Here's our predicted rainfall. Through tomorrow, we have just a little bit of rain through Jackson, Hillsdale, as well as Howell. And here we are taking it through Tuesday. You're seeing that Hillsdale getting just a little bit more, as well as Jackson. Those of us off to the north and west staying dry. Here's our temperature trend, 87 for both Monday and Tuesday. Of course, if we get more sunshine for tomorrow, we could be even a little bit warmer. Some areas could be pushing 90. It'll certainly feel a little humid. Check out Thursday and Friday. We're getting into those temperatures into the mid and upper 70s. Here's a look at tonight. Mostly cloudy conditions and cool weather as well. 62, that's not quite where we should be for normal this time of year. We should be in those mid 50s. But as far as those temperatures, certainly a good night to open the window. I think everyone will be remaining dry. Here's a look at tomorrow. Here's your Labor Day forecast. Isolated showers, especially off to the southeast. Slightly warmer temperatures than what we saw for today. A high of 87. Although I think a few of us could be warmer than that, and certainly if you're off to the south and you get the rain, you'll be cooler than that as well. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. A good few chances of rain into our forecast. Don't expect to get wet every single day, but I think a good portion of us will see at least some rain for this week. Thursday, we're looking at dry conditions and cooler temperatures settling in for next week too. And at this point next week, we're looking at temperatures below average and also dry weather.
Well, I'm hoping we stay dry here, but only time will tell. We'll see.
Looks like a good day.
All right, thanks, Laura. You can tell Hollywood's summer blockbuster season is over because this weekend's totals aren't anything close to the numbers generated by The Avengers and The Dark Knight Rises. We'll have the box office totals after the break. A pretty slow weekend at the theater allowed a horror movie to sneak into the top spot. The Possession debuted at #1 with nearly $18 million. It's inspired by the story of a family that fought a demon known as Dybbuk. Lawless finished second during its opening weekend with a little less than $10 million. Shia LaBeouf, Tom Hardy, and Jason Clarke star as brothers and bootleggers in Prohibition-era Virginia. And The Expendables 2 fell to third place after 2 weeks on top. It brought in almost $9 million on the backs of nearly every living action movie star there is. And of course, it's Sunday, Sports Sunday. You got some, I know Jeremy's been working hard back there. He's got some great stuff for us tonight.
It's been a busy night with the Tigers, of course. A big game with the Chicago White Sox. We'll also recap that Michigan game from last night, talk about all that, and a whole lot more coming up in this edition of Sports Sunday.